Hi, I'm Danny, and today I will be doing my December wrap-up. Oh, December has come and gone, and it seemed like yesterday was only March. This is my last wrap-up of the year. So this month, just as I was starting to pick out some books that I thought I might want to read, because lately, even the books I've picked out, I've maybe read one or two of them, which is why I haven't been doing any TBRs lately. So I started off with a book that I read and I really did not like. But if you ever read a book and then you go back and maybe you reread it because you thought it was fantastic or you thought it was terrible, just to see what you thought of it now, well, I did that, hoping that maybe I would like the book just a little more, just a little more. But unfortunately, I did not. And that is Landline by Rainbow Rowell. I'm gathering up some books that I no longer wish to read or that I know I will not read again. And this was one of the books I grabbed. I read it again hoping that maybe I would find something different, that I would like it a little more this time. And I think I liked it even less this time around. So this was definitely not going to stay. And again, I gave this a 2-star rating, so did not like it. The next book I read this month was Lost Voices by Sarah Porter. This is about a girl named Luce whose mother died when she was about 4 years old. So she lives with her father, and most of the time they travel around in their van. Sometimes they even sleep in it. And then her father moves her to Alaska to live with his brother, her uncle. And her father goes out on a fishing boat one day and never comes back. And so Luce is stuck with her alcoholic uncle, who was also in love with her mother, but her father ended up winning her heart. And so since Luce looks so much like her mother, he starts imagining that she is her mother. And so he starts doing things to her. He sexually assaults her once, but she manages to get away from him, and she goes to the cliffs and she accidentally falls over the edge, and she's expecting herself to drown, and suddenly she just feels fine. She can breathe, everything's good, and she finds out that she has a tail. Yes, Luce became a mermaid. Luce joins a group of mermaids, and she finds this queen called Katarina, and they get along really well until some other mermaids start joining the group and start planting ideas in Kat's head that Luce is actually trying to take Kat's crown from her. And she reacts the way you imagine, but not for the reasons you imagine. Started off as a really, really, really great book. It had so much potential, but by halfway to the ending, it slowly started to drop. It's really started off as a 4-star book and dropped to a 3-star. But this was pretty good. There were certain parts that were still 4-star parts, but then other parts made it drop again. So if this book sounds interesting at all to you, I will link it below so that you can read the summary for yourself, because I'm not quite sure I did it justice, but it was a pretty good book. Just didn't end out as great as it started. I gave this about a 3.2 on Goodreads. And after that book, I continued on with the mermaid sort of theme, and I read Lullaby by Amy Hawkins. This is the second book in the Water Song series. This is the sequel to Wake. I loved Wake so much, and I have read this book before, and I wanted to kind of get back into this world a little bit. I didn't want to continue on with the series, so I just decided to reread this one, and I still gave this one a 3 out of 5. I cannot go into detail about this book because it is a sequel, so it would be a spoiler. Next I read Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. This is about a girl named Mare who is a red. There are reds and there are silvers in this world, and reds are basically the common folk. They do all the work, and the silvers are the high-powered nobility and royals, and they have all these sorts of different powers over water and lightning, and even to control people's minds. They can be pretty scary. Mare ends up working at the Silver Castle, and while she is there, it is discovered that she has the power to control lightning, which she didn't even know she had. Everyone talks about the plot twist that happens in the book, how they never saw it coming. You'll never see it coming. I saw it coming from like a mile away. I was like, out of everyone to betray her, it could be one of these 3 people, but it's most likely these 2 people, and out of these 2, it's definitely that person. And I was right. So didn't really shock me too much. I wasn't as shocked as everyone else was, because I pretty much saw it coming a mile away. But it was definitely a good book. Since I've never read dystopian before, I didn't see other dystopian books within this book, which is what a lot of people have been complaining about. Like, other aspects from other dystopian books are in this one, which I imagine after a certain point of a lot of people writing dystopians, you'll start to common threads between a lot of them. But so because I've never read a dystopian before, I did not see them in this book, although if I decide to read any more dystopians after this book, I'm sure I'll probably see something, although I'll probably be comparing them to this book. So this one was definitely good. I gave this a 3.2 out of 5. I'm still a little on the fence, just a tiny bit. I'm more leaning towards yes, that I will pick up the second book. And the last book I have is an old favorite, and that is Twilight. Unfortunately, I only got to finish Twilight, and it was just as good as I remember. Brought back a lot of memories of what I was thinking when I first read the book, and even though my taste has evolved, I still love this book. Since I have this one, I'm most likely going to get rid of my original copy because I don't need multiple copies of the same book. But since I have now finished half the book, I can continue on with Life and Death. And I gave Twilight still a 4 out of 5. I think my original time I gave it a 5 out of 5, but I'm not going to change my rating on Goodreads just because it's been a couple years, and I'm going to keep the 5-star. Well, that is the end of my December book haul, and those are the last books I read this year. And I will see you guys in the new year.